It's always the perfect time to read books by Caribbean authors, but especially in June as it is Read Caribbean Month. I have 30 recommendations for you from Caribbean authors, including authors from across the diaspora. So save this video and let's get into it. The Cemetery of Untold Stories by Julia Alvarez is a book that I love so much. A writer decides to bury her stories in the cemetery because she doesn't want to write anymore, but then those stories come to life and start speaking to the groundskeeper. The Mermaid of Black Conch is about a beautiful woman who's been turned into a mermaid by jealous wives. Then she has lived in the Caribbean Sea for centuries until she hears a man's song and she's drawn towards him but ends up being captured by American tourists. Daddy Sharp is a fictional story inspired by the true life of Samuel Sharp, who was a Jamaican revolutionary. This book makes you really think about what it means to be born into slavery to someone who was born free. And if so much can change in one generation, imagine how much has been lost over many. Smalley by Ida Mackenzie Goddard, another favourite of mine. This one takes us into the Windrush era to follow a 19-year-old girl from Barbados to England and then see her 50 years later where she is being threatened to be deported. Mother Island is a memoir and it asks the question of who do we become when we no longer are trying to be somebody else. Jamie's mother was abandoned by her family, which meant Jamie and her siblings grew up disconnected from their Puerto Rican roots. In this book, she is tracing back. Claire of the Sea Light is about an enchanted girl who goes missing, and as her family and even people in the wider community go looking for her, everybody is remembering a loved one that they too lost. Hurricane Summer is about a girl who has longed for her dad to love her, but every 6 months he goes back to his home, and then her mother tells her one summer that it's her who is going to Jamaica this time. This is an emotional coming to age story built around finding your voice in the middle of chaos. The Mercy Step also takes us into a story of finding yourself. Our main character is growing up in a household where her father is violent, and as her resilience grows and she escapes into books and she imagines a different life, she wants to save her family and she's determined to do so. Andromeda is a reimagining of a Greek myth where a princess has to deal with a deadly ultimatum which puts her mother's life in her hands. This book reclaims Andromeda's story and allows her to have autonomy and also find love in unexpected places. And lastly, we have the Reaper. Our main character is an empath and she can sense supernatural auras. She comes across the Reaper. Together they work on a case to try and find a girl who murdered her own parents, and it just takes you through their journey on the London streets. Save these recommendations, let me know which ones you'll be reading, and make sure you're following for part 3.